Welcome to Blockchain Basics, and later today we have FOMC coming out. So before that, let's quickly take a look at some of the chart and see if we have some opportunities. So EU, looking at the daily time frame, you can see after the sweep of these levels over here, after the sweep of these lows, price push back into this daily supply. So I expect this bearish order flow to continue, and we could look for shorts targeting these lows. Now these sentiments could change according to the news that is coming out. So let's look at the H4. So looking at the H4, you can see after the sweep of these levels, we got a change of character over here. After the change of character, looking at the recent price action, price swept these lows, pushed back up into this H4 supply. Now I'm expecting this H4 supply to continue with the bearish momentum to the downside. So you can see that we have this bearish low highs, low lows, low highs, lower lows, and then we have this lower high. We found the lower low but failed to close with the candle close. Price came back up, so I'm expecting this could be the lower high and we could form another lower low, continuing with the bearish momentum. So on the H4, this is what I'm thinking. And how can we play this move? So if we get a change of character on the H4 like this, we can expect price to come back into this fresh supply and then continue with bearish momentum to the downside. Also keep a note that we have liquidity built over here. Maybe if they want, they can even sweep this and then make the move. So this could all be just liquidity building to bring in early sellers, and then they can sweep these highs and then push back to the downside. Now let's see this on the H1. So on the H1, we are looking at the recent price action. So after the sweep of this level, you can see on the H1 we have a candle close like a proper break of structure. After that, price pushed back into this H4 supply. Now from here you can see we have liquidity built over here and price is going lower. You can see that. Now on the H1, if we see price pushing below this level, we'll get a fresh supply over here. And when price come back into this level, that is when we can look for shorts to take out these lows. So this is one possibility, but also be cautious that we have liquidity built over here. Now price could also sweep this and then give a change of character, and then from the fresh supply we can look for shorts, which would be a much better way of getting into a shorts. But so with this liquidity built over here, we know price would come and take it anytime. So you can see over here liquidity was built, price pushed down and then pushed back up with huge bullish momentum, and now you can see it's consolidating. You can see it's having a sideways price action also. So after a break of this level from the fresh supply, we can look for shorts targeting the lows. So this is what I'm seeing on EU. Let's look at GU now. So on GU, we're looking at the recent price action. So after this break of structure to the upside, price mitigated this daily supply, and then price came down, mitigated this daily demand, and we're reacting from there. So now maybe we could get a short reaction, maybe a short pullback on the H4 and then continue with the bearish momentum to the downside. So let's see on the H4. So on the H4, we are looking at the recent price action. So we got a bearish internal break of structure over here. After that, we got another internal break of structure. So this is an aggressive way of marking structures. After that, we mitigated this daily demand. Now after mitigating this daily demand, if we take a closer look at the price action, so we can see that we have a change of character over here, a sweep and a change of character over here. Price came back down, swept these lows, and we got another change of character. Now if this demand over here holds, we can expect price to go to the upside, at least 50% of this leg over here, and then continue with the bearish momentum if it wants to. So from the H4, this is what I'm seeing. And why I'm looking bearish on GU is because we have been following a bearish order flow. So that is why I think that maybe price come into the H4 supply and then continue back to the downside into this daily demand. So let's see this on the H1. So on the H1, we're looking at the recent price action. So you can see after the sweep of these levels, price gave a proper change of character with a candle close, but this supply was still holding. It pushed price back down into this daily demand, but we can see that this daily demand is holding and it gave a change of character over here. Now if this demand is holding, we can expect price to push to the upside into this H4 supply or even into the 50% of this level. Now this price action is quite suspicious for me because so I took a loss earlier inside this same price action. So you can see that happening over here. A sweep above, price pushed back down, price here also you can see price pushed back down, pushed above, you can see here. It didn't push above to the upside, but it came towards the supply over here, and then it consolidated over here, pushed back up, and then it fell back down again. So we can see similar pattern happening over here. So it pushed up, here we got a proper candle close, price came back down, you can see that same thing over here, and then it pulled back up into this supply. Over here also the same thing. This swept the highs and then now you can see it pushed back down. So since I took a loss over here and I mentioned that I won't be taking a trade again during this kind of price action, so this is why I avoided taking a trade from this demand. Maybe this demand could hold and we can expect price to go to the upside, but since I saw similar price action, so I would like to wait for another confirmation wherein we get another break above this level, and from the fresh demand is where I would be interested to take a long into the H4 supply. So let's quickly look at gold now. So on gold, looking at the recent price action, so after this change of character, price came into this daily demand. This daily demand first mitigation failed to push price to the upside. Price came back again, swept these lows, and we are reacting from here. So from yesterday we are in the same area. Let's see this on the H4. So on the H4, looking at the recent price action, we lost this major H4 level which needed to hold to push price up, but you can see that after the sweep of this level, price came back into this H4 supply. So this supply pushed back price down and we got another sweep, and you can see we are consolidating over here. Maybe this consolidation is due to because the FOMC meeting, and I expect that maybe a move could happen after the news. So let's see on the H1. So on the H1, if you look at the recent price action, like after the sweep of these levels, price came back into this H1 supply. Now after coming into this H1 supply, price pushed back down, swept these lows, and we got a change of character. Now we can follow this bullish order flow as long as it's holding. So this H1 demand, if it's holding, we can expect price to push to the upside into this H4 supply. And I expect that from this H4 supply, we could see bearish momentum to the downside. And this sentiments could all change according to the news that is coming out later today. According to the structure, this is what I am seeing. Since we lost major levels, we could have a short-term push maybe from here into this H4 supply and then continue with the bearish momentum. But you can see that currently price is consolidating over here. Maybe only after the news we would have a movement in gold. So this is what I'm seeing on Euro, Gold and GBP coming into the New York session. So if you'd like to see more daily market analysis like this, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned.